Okay, Unit 9, Lecture 1F. We're just talking about Geneva Convention, treatment of war. There's an important point we have to know here, the Bataan Death March. It's a vocab term, all right? During World War II, the treatment of prisoners of war varied greatly, okay? The treatment of prisoners in the Pacific really strayed from the Geneva Convention and reflected the savagery of fighting there. And it's probably because we're so racially different, okay? So obviously different. The propaganda used by both sides had generated a great deal of hatred. The Japanese refusal to surrender and their treatment of people who surrender and the way they think about them is going to cause this to be a much more savage place. So in the Bataan Death March, the Japanese captured the Philippines, all right? And I want you to remember this occurs in the Philippines because for some reason that's what they think is important in SOL. The American prisoners of war suffered brutal treatment by the Japanese, all right? This guy is on the Bataan Death March. These guys are Japanese prisoners of war that survived World War II, okay? So it's a much different treatment, okay? All right, Japanese soldiers commit suicide rather than surrender. All right, in Europe, the treatment of prisoners much more closely resembles the Geneva Convention. Okay, and that's important to know. All right, okay, I want to move over to the Holocaust for a little bit, and we're going to try and do a little more with this in class than here online. All right, specific groups are often the object of hatred and prejudice and face increased risk of discrimination during wartime. This was particularly true for the Jews who lived in areas under German control during World War II. All right, the Holocaust was Nazi Germany's systematic murder of millions of European Jews. Okay, Hitler's final solution was Germany's decision to exterminate, kill all Jews, all right? In short, Nazi Germany attempted genocide of European Jews. Genocide is the systematic and purposeful destruction of a racial, political, religious, or cultural group, okay? In the Holocaust, the Nazis targeted not only Jews, those over 6 million may be put to death, but also Slavs, which are Eastern Europeans we've discussed in the past, Gypsies, Poles, and other undesirables. The Nazis defined undesirables to include homosexuals, the mentally ill, and political dissidents, those who oppose Hitler's government. Okay. I want to move on to the Nuremberg Trials now, which is also on your whiteboard terms to know. The Nuremberg Trials were the post-World War II trials of Nazi leaders to hold them accountable for the atrocities committed during and war crimes committed during the Holocaust. These trials are held in Nuremberg, Germany, and convicted many Nazi leaders for crimes against humanity during World War II. We're going to do a brief reading on this in class. I know you're excited about that. The Nuremberg trials emphasized or stressed the individual responsibility for actions during a war, all right, regardless of orders. So no longer can you say, I was only following orders, doing my job. That's not good enough, all right? You should have stood up. Somebody should have said something so that this didn't occur, all right? Since these trials publicized the horrors of the Holocaust's death camps, Nazi death camps and concentration camps, they led to an increased demand for a Jewish homeland. This is called Zionism, all right, the Jewish homeland, the move for a Jewish homeland. The Jewish homeland will be Israel. Okay, so in 1948, Jewish settlers living in the former British Mandate of Palestine founded the nation of Israel as a homeland for Jews. Okay, both Great Britain and the United States immediately or quickly recognized the state of Israel and its right to exist, though the Arab nations surrounding Israel are going to attack it the very next day, the day after it's created. Okay, that's the end of this lecture.